In this final section of this installation video, I'll show you how to log in to P5's web-based admin interface, what that looks like, and then some troubleshooting tips. So to get to ArchiWare's web interface, as previously mentioned, using HTTP, as you can see in my address bar here in the browser, I am putting in the IP address of the host that's running P5 that I wish to administer. I'm using port 8000 because that's the port that we by default run the admin interface on for HTTP. And then if you were logging in, you would generally use /login on the end of the URL to get to the login screen, which is where we are here. The default password and username is admin for both. And I'm warned to change that because it's not secure. I'm looking at a licensed P5 installation here, so the license activates all of the three modules: backup, archive and synchronize, so you can see those tabs across the top. If I was configuring archive, for example, which we will cover in the archive video, then all of the options down the left hand side, including some advanced options at the bottom, these are all the things that need to be set up and configured in order to use archive. Not necessarily all of them, but at least some of them. So everything pertaining to archive is covered in the archive tab, likewise for synchronize and backup. In the restore tab here, you can, when you're backing up and archiving, we're adding files to indexes, and under the restore tab you can browse what's been backed up and archived and then choose what you would like to recover or restore back to disk. Over on the right hand side there's a jobs and logs menu which allows you to monitor currently active jobs. So let's have a look in there. So the P5 job monitor window breaks down into three sections. Let's just make it a little larger. So at the top I can see any queued jobs which will be running on a scheduler. So you can see this job here is running at 6 AM in the morning. Queued jobs can be started now, or you can cancel them so they don't run in future. So I could run this job now rather than waiting for it to run at its scheduled time. Running jobs, we don't have any at the moment, but I'll fire a job off in a second. And then at the bottom you can see jobs which finished in the last 24 hours or so. So you can see for each job which has run, there is a coloured dot against it which indicates whether it was successful in the case of this job here. So I can double click on here to see the details about the job which ran, in this case successfully, and the job log shows me everything about that job that I might need to know. And then a job which failed I can double click on to see why that job failed, and that's because a host wasn't reachable in this particular instance. Okay, I'm now going to run a job so you can see what it looks like to have a running job. There we go. So you can see we have an archive task here running, which is using tape. So this is telling me that it's currently controlling a jukebox and transporting a tape from a slot to a drive. There's a little disclosure triangle here which allows me to see more detail about what's going on. And a running job like this will give us stats about the speed at which it's writing data once it begins running, once it's got a tape in the drive. So yeah, queued jobs, running jobs, completed jobs in the job monitor window. You can also filter based on the type of job down the left hand side, and also filter based on clients. P5 can run multiple jobs simultaneously, so it's possible that you might have several running jobs appearing in the running jobs list. You can cancel a running job from the menu here. The job history here at the bottom, finished jobs, only shows you the jobs which ran in the past 24 hours. So to go back further, you can go to the job history window, which is here. And the job history window gives you a chronological list of jobs in the time range that you select on the left hand side. So you can see past week, past 3 months, or you can enter a custom period. You can also filter on the type of job and the result, whether it was successful or not. And this list also shows us how much data was saved by jobs which ran recently. This is where you would come if you're running a daily backup, for example, just to check that the backup was successful and to see how much data the backup saved, so you can make sure that the amount of data being saved is consistent with your expectations. The job logs can also be emailed out, so you can configure an email server to deliver emails from your P5 server, and then all of the job logs can be delivered to users. We won't cover that in this video, but it'll be in a more advanced video that will follow. So yeah, this is the job log history window. Obviously, over the course of months and years, there will be many thousands of jobs which P5 has run, and so this is paginated, and you can you can move back in time by going through the pages to find jobs which ran. You can also obviously enter a specific time period here to find a particular job. And finally, over here in the P5 menu, you can access a PDF user guide for the version that you're running, which will open in the browser. A link to the masterclass videos, which you've already found, so well done for finding that. And down here, the important one is download support data. So this is really good for troubleshooting. What this does is downloads a zip file which contains information about your P5 installation, this P5 installation. So let's have a look. Let's open the window where we downloaded the file to, and you can see here we have a zip file, which is a convenient way to send this support data to somebody that's trying to assist you with support. If we look inside, you'll see that we have a number of log files. P5 is currently writing to this file at the top here, lexserv.log. So you can see information about things which have recently run, like the job which just completed, that we just ran. So P5 is in this file, P5 is giving a relatively low level log of everything that's occurring. So this is really useful for a support representative to figure out if there's an issue with P5 and how it might be resolved. These files are created or rotated each day. So each time ArchiWare restarts, which it tries to do between 4 and 7 a.m. each day, it will create a new log file and rotate the old ones and keep some number in the history. So the zip file contains some of these log files going back in time. It also contains this database file, which is the configuration for this installation. So all of the configuration lives in a SQLite database, and this is included in the support download, alongside the system log from the operating system itself, plus some other auxiliary files that might be useful for diagnosing issues. So yeah, the download support data is a really handy way to get all of the information about this installation downloaded in a convenient single file. A couple of final things in this menu to note. There is an option to change your password. So the default password is always admin. Use this option to change the current password admin to a proper password. And finally in the menu you can look at the About P5 window, which shows you which version you're running, your host ID, which is needed for generating keys, and the expiry date of the evaluation license that we're currently running. And over here in the Job Monitor window, you can see the job which I just ran a few moments ago has now also completed. So yes, that's a quick tour of ArchiWare's web interface. So thanks for watching this video.